Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing episode of No Sleep. I'm your co-host, Jason Vance, and your other co-host, Regent, we will be checking in with a little bit later. Well, as you know, every episode we bring you a different theme of movies that we talk about, and today we have got a groovy one for you. Today's theme is killer kids. That's right. Insane infants, terrible toddlers, and the like. I think you know the sort. So we're going to jump in right away, get this show kicking with my first choice, which is a movie called Cathy's Curse. Now, Cathy's Curse has got to get points just for the title alone, right? And this story is about a family that inherits one of those spooky old mansions, and of course they choose to move in. Why? I have no idea, but they always choose to move in. Well, pretty soon they discover a doll up in the attic that's totally freaky. It has its eyes sewn shut, and certainly is like a devil spawn, or at least one of his demons. And the doll soon begins to possess little Cathy and take control and makes her do all sorts of devilish things, including getting a really foul mouth. We're talking some serious sailor talk here. And it's always very entertaining to see little kids spouting obscenities, right? There's also a character in this movie, an old man that lives in the house that drinks insistently. And there's several scenes where Cathy's just walking up with like a bottle of whiskey ready to booze the guy up. So we're going to take a look now at this clip from Cathy's Curse, where we see her first interaction with the demon doll, and also, I think, her first kill. So let's take a look at Cathy's Curse.
She's seen me! Go!
I love those absolutely spooky 70s sound effects. Aren't those great? Okay, now my next movie is very appropriately titled for this show, and it's called The Children. And the story of the children. Well, what's it about? I'll tell you. There's a very small town, and all the town's kids are on a school bus. There's only like maybe 8 or 10 of them. And wouldn't you know it, the bus runs through a radioactive cloud. Don't you hate when that happens? And it turns all the little children into killing machines. But of course their parents don't know this. So one by one the kids start heading home, and it turns out that anything the kids touch, or any human, spontaneously combusts. So you gotta love that. Now this movie is absolutely a little campy, but fun nonetheless, at least if you have my sense of humor. So we're gonna take a look now at this clip from The Children. You're gonna see as one of the kids gets back home and says hi to Mom. Okay, let's take a look.
Mommy! Ellen!
So there you go. Pretty scary, huh? Again, great music, right? I guess all these 70s soundtracks, they were just, I don't know what they were made on. But our next movie is quite an obscure little classic. It's called Devil Times 5. And this movie actually was banned shortly after its release because of the violent content and the children involved. But the craziest thing about this movie is it stars a very young Leif Garrett. Now this is, pre-teen pop sensation. And he actually gives a really good little kid performance. This movie is probably one of the most violent ones that I'm featuring today. And in the true tradition of the Friday the 13th movies, it's got lots of creative kills, like piranhas in the bathtub. And they rig up the house the little children with all these deadly traps, kind of like a lethal Home Alone in a way. And the group of kids are little orphans that have found their way into this country lodge and start taking the adults out one by one. So once again, I've selected an amazing clip to share with you people. And take a look at this very young Leif Garrett and see if you can figure out who the other actor is, because he went on to some fame and notoriety. Okay, so here's a clip from Devil Times 5.
Oh, no. Well, if you can't do any better than this, I'll have to get Mo to help you. Oh, no. No. Guess we'll have to call in the second team before you collapse. Hey, you did it, huh? Okay, here. Let me move it around so you get the other end.
That's such a Charlie's Angels ending, isn't it? So there's a look at Leif Garrett, and the other actor, his name is Sorrel Brooks, and he went on to play Boss Hogg in The Dukes of Hazzard. How about that? Now, not to give anything away, because I don't like to spoil movies, but chances are you're never going to find this movie and be able to see it. But the weird thing is the kids all actually win in this. They kill all the adults, and at the end of it, it says, very scarily, of course, to be continued. But the kids actually do get away with all the murders, which you don't see happen very often. Now, my next movie is The Godsend. And this movie is obviously a blatant Omen ripoff, but instead of an evil little boy, it's an evil little girl. And the story goes something like this. There is a young couple, expecting their fourth child, and they meet a mysterious pregnant woman who shows up at their isolated country home. And sure enough, a terrible storm breaks out, and the woman goes into labor and has the baby that night, but mysteriously the next day, she's completely vanished. So the kids take the child and decide to adopt and raise it as their own. But sooner than later, this little girl starts knocking off all their children, killing them one by one. Well, after a while, the dad gets wise to the rise, and we're going to take a look in the clip here where you see Bonnie, the little evil demon child, up to her shenanigans, but this time the dad actually witnesses it. So let's take a look now at the blatant Omen ripoff, The Godsend. Here we go.
Bonnie did it.
It was an accident, Lucy. Bonnie was only playing. I shouldn't have been asleep. I'm dreadful.
Apparently the only way Bonnie knows how to play, the deadly way. So now I have a special treat for me and you and everyone, and we're going to check in with the other co-host, Regent, who obviously is not in the studio today, and there's a very good reason for that. And I think he timed this perfectly for our Evil Children show. So we're going to go visit Regent on location, check in with him, see what's going on, and here are some of his choices for his favorite Evil Children movie. And we have a special surprise to show you as well. So if we can, I guess we'll cut kind of immediately to that clip of Regent, and we'll say Mad Max. How's that?
Okay, and here we are in my Den of Iniquity, the home of Regent St. Clair. These are some of my movies, some of my 700 films. And of course, today's episode is about evil children. And a few films that I like very much about evil children, which is actually a topic I have a lot of films on. As you can see right here, we have Demon Seed, which has a wonderful evil child thing at the end. I think the great line in the film at the end is they take all the metal plating off the creature and it goes, "I'm alive." That's always nice. I always enjoy that one. Of course, it also has the other subject I'm always interested in, which is the non-human rapes of human women. So you got that going for you. Off the top of my head, some other ones that I always enjoy are actually not only The Omen, which has a great evil child in it, but I even like, is it the third one? I believe it's the third one, Final something. But actually for a sequel, it's pretty cool. I enjoy that myself. The Omen actually gets pretty big stars in that movie. You know, Gregory Peck, you know, got a great climax in that film. You got to go back to the original evil kid, which is The Bad Seed. If you've never seen The Bad Seed, you really do need to see The Bad Seed. And as I mentioned to Jason before, my all-time favorite evil kid is actually not from a film, but it's from a Twilight Zone episode that was recreated in the Twilight Zone movie back in the 80s, I suppose. The piece was about a little kid who had the power to like basically change reality, change matter, basically plucked his little town off the map and held everybody in it sort of prisoner. But in the original one, Billy Mooney, as a little teeny Billy Mooney, who is Will Robinson from Lost in Space, played the kid who, I'm trying to think, was his name Billy in the movie? I think it was Billy in the movie. And he would do things like, they were all afraid, and when he thought somebody was bad or he didn't like somebody, this little kid, he would go, "You're a bad man. You need to go to the cornfield." And so he would make them into like living scarecrows in a cornfield. Amazing stuff. He's an awesome evil kid. But I'm just wondering if there are any other kid things floating around here I could mention right off the top of my head. Those are the ones that come to mind right off the bat. We could actually move on to the other part of the apartment. I can now show you the newest addition to the No Sleep family, right this way. This is the living room of the St. Clair home. As you can see, my 20-foot by 20-foot City of Lost Children poster, which, of course, is my favorite movie of all time. And, of course, as we come around here, this is the newest addition to the St. Clair household, the newest evil child, my child. This is Maximilian Batista St. Clair. And today, I believe he's 2.5 weeks old. I was a little disappointed, as you know, that when he came out, there were no horns or cloven hoofs, but they promised me that there's a good chance around when he hits puberty that the horns may come out, the ponytail and the hoofs may develop. They tell me not to give up hope. There's always hope, you know. As with most couples who can't conceive, you know, they tell them just not to give up on it. But he was actually conceived pretty quick. Not a lot of problems. He's a little sleepy right now. He has some eye schmutz in there. And this is him in his semi-senior lethargique right now. So basically, that's what I can think of right now. There's the real-life evil child, and those are some of the evil children movies that I like. So I hope you guys get a chance to see some of those films. The Bad Seed, Demon Seed, 2 movies with seed in them. And what was the other one? What was the other one? Oh, The Omen and The Omen 3. So there's just a few things that... What? What? Okay, anyways, so that's my contribution to this particular episode of the show. I hope that's enough for you, and it's certainly enough for you to get started. So back to you in the studio, Jason.
Well, thank you very much for checking in, Regent. Wasn't that beautiful? A new baby for the No Sleep family, so we're going to try our best to corrupt him as quickly as possible. And now, on to another pick for the show. And this movie is called It Lives Again. And this movie is the sequel to the wildly popular It's Alive, and was followed by Island of the Alive to complete the trilogy, all directed by Larry Cohen. And this movie is about these crazy-ass mutant monster babies that are born. And the first one just has the dad trying to track him down, trying to rescue him before the authorities can get there and shoot him. But this one has 3 monster mutant babies in it, 3 for the price of 1. And it follows a young couple that parents one of the children, and ends up, they skid it away to this kind of research facility where the father from the first movie is trying to protect and study these crazy mutant babies that are like super strong and have really wicked claws and hyper intelligence and all sorts of crazy stuff. And things go all right until the mother gets there, as usual, and things go awry because these babies have this incredible honing skill so they can track right in on the parents, and they're going nuts. So we're going to take a look now at the clip from It Lives Again and check out these badass babies, okay?
Adam through the maze again. There.
See, the babies look pretty cool, huh? Now, granted, you don't get to see them a lot. What you get to see most of is that POV shot of, you know, them crawling on the floor at somebody, but whatever, it's still all good. So my last movie, the final pick, the #1 pick for today's show, is called The Brood. And, you know, a lot of the movies we talked about already are really fun and campy and, you know, a little bit scary, but this is probably the most real movie and certainly offers the most plot-wise of any of the movies we talked about. And it deals with a woman who is going through some muy mucho mental illness and hooks up with this new age psychiatrist played by Oliver Reed. And it turns out she can actually manifest her anger and her rage into a physical form. And the physical form are these freaky little kids that she gives birth to with a womb that's attached outside of her body. One of the famous shots from this movie is where she's like ripping open the womb with her mouth and like tearing out the baby. And all the little kids, they have kind of featureless faces, and they're like they're not boys or girls, they're kind of like no sex. And she finds out that whoever she's really angry at or hateful for, the brood of children will actually go after and you know, take care of business for her. Now, this is by David Cronenberg, who is an amazing director and has made lots of great movies. So, like I said, this is the most kind of real movie out of the picks today. Lots of really suspenseful stuff. Lots of very creepy action with these kids. These kids are like nightmarish. So we're going to take a look at a clip where the mom's kind of pissed off at the kindergarten teacher, and a couple of the kids go down to take care of business. So here's a clip from The Brood.
You can do snowflakes too. That's a good idea.
Grab?
You can do this larger. Is that...
Well, thank goodness at least one kid was smart enough to go run for help. The other kids are probably sitting there cheering like, yeah, no teacher, it's over. So now we're going to introduce a brand new segment to the show, and it's called the No Sleep Video Heap. And this is a segment where we're going to tell you on each show how hard the movies are to find, because, you know, we deal with a lot of obscure and rare movies. And I constantly get emails from people asking me, where can I find these movies at? And it's really hard because I've been collecting for years and years and years, and all the movies we feature on the show are from my own personal collection. So we're going to rank how tough these movies are to find. Like tonight, only one of them is available actually in print. The others available are like online auctions. But for tonight's show, the top of the heap and the easiest one to find is It Lives Again, surprisingly. Maybe because it was such a popular, you know, had a first and a third too. And the hardest one to find is the Godsend. I couldn't find a listing for this anywhere. It looks like it's totally out of print. So that's what we're going to do from now on, just to kind of give you guys a heads up on how hard or easy the movies we talk about here on the show are to get, so you can get them for your own collections. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and if it doesn't make sense, then we'll explain it to you next episode. Now we're going to do something I do know how to do really well, and that's emails from all you viewers out there. Thank you very much. And we actually, the first one we have is 2 votes for Lord of the Flies, but I'm not sure if they mean the original or the remake with Balthazar Geddy. So one was from Mike at Edgewise Film in Hollywood, and the second was from Sam at Insomniac Video in San Luis Obispo. And Insomniac Video rocks. You guys should check that out. The next one is from Juan Aviles, and he chose Children of the Corn. And he said that he's never even seen it all the way through because the music, along with the images of the kids killing those people in the cafe, was enough for him to walk out, and he still hasn't watched the rest. So get some cojones, watch Children of the Corn. It's the only good one out of like the 8 Children of the Corn movies that are made now. So, and we also have one from Arnold Lara. who also chose Children of the Corn. What a surprise. He says, now those were some evil children. Yes, they were. And this one is from Laura, who chose as her favorite movie The Village of the Damned. Again, hopefully she chose the original and not John Carpenter's remake, even though I love Carpenter, but the original is superior. And hey, here's another Village of the Damned, also called The Midwich Cuckoos, she points out, from Dave Howard. Good choice. And then we have one from Mary Howard. Maybe there are a couple, I don't know. And they chose The Most Diabolical Child Still Remains, the little girl in the 1956 movie The Bad Seed. There's a great musical out there called Ruthless, where the girl kills off the competition. That's right, I've seen that show. And The Bad Seed, the original, is amazing. Patty McCormick still is totally spooky. And then we have one from Aaron Eskridge. And he chose the Twilight Zone episode that Regent talked about, where he could wish people into the cornfield. And it was redone in the Twilight Zone movie as well, as he points out. And then we have one from Dave Zaslowski. And he says that he loves our website, which is awesome. And as a fan of bizarre cinema, he has to say that our lists are both interesting and informative. So we love that, and hopefully entertaining. And his only complaint is that he doesn't get the show in New York, but you know, we're going to try to change all that. So those are the emails that we got, so keep sending them in because we love to read them. And now I just wanted to take a moment to promote a new film I just saw twice in the last week called Elvira's Haunted Hills. Maybe you have noticed that on this episode I have a whole bunch of Elvira stuff going on, right? Have you noticed? And so she put this movie out, which is really funny, and it's a little bit scary also, but more funny and campy, and it's kind of a homage to all the old Hammer films, you know, where they're stuck in the big spooky castle with a cast of creepy characters. And the second lead in this is Richard O'Brien, Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So besides Elvira, it's got a great supporting cast. And they're kind of doing a rollout. I'm going to throw this away because it's bugging me in my hand. But they're going to do kind of a rollout of the movie. It's open here in New York, and they're going to play it in Chicago and New York and kind of roll it out across the country. So check her website for release dates because they probably only have a couple prints. But the turnout here in Los Angeles was awesome. I mean, there was a line around the block, and Elvira came down and was just totally cool and had like a scream contest. And the crowd was just the perfect crowd to see it yet, with everybody was screaming and yelling and hollering. So that was a good time to be had by all. And in wrapping up, I just wanted to give a couple shout-outs. I wanted to say congratulations to Mike. That's awesome news, and thank you for still coming down and helping us out. I wanted to say that I hope Steve had an amazing adventure on his overseas expedition. And again, thanks for coming down after just getting back in. And I wanted to say, of course, congratulations to my very best friend Regent and Heidi on the birth of Mad Max. I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time with him and being a great uncle. And I wanted to thank Alan and Yombo for stopping by and coming down and helping us out here in the studio, showing their support for the show because we really appreciate it. And also, I want to kind of give you a heads up on the next topic that we're going to be doing here at No Sleep. And that theme is going to be a show all about evil animals. Huh? Nice, huh? So there's lots of movies about evil animals. You know, we were going to call it When Animals Attack, but that kind of sounds a little bit like a Fox reality show. So we chose not to call it When Animals Attack, but I think you get the idea. You know, land, sea, or air. So think about what your favorite evil animal movie is and send it in so we can discuss and talk about it here on No Sleep. So I think I'm getting pretty close to the end of the time. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. You know, usually I go over, and now I got 1 minute left. So I just want to say thank you to all of you out there, because there's so many, right? And thanks for the support of the show and all the encouraging and supportive emails that you send to us. And our information is, you can call the producer at 310-398-4214. And you can also send us letters at P.O. Box 66880, and that's Los Angeles, California, 90066. And of course, check out our frickin' amazing website. Do yourself a favor, okay? And me. It's at nosleeptv.com. And besides, information about us, it has all the previous episodes, and all the movies we've talked about on the previous episodes are listed there. So you can go in, check them out, check out some crazy action, and then drop us a line and let us know what you think. So again, thanks to everybody for coming down here and helping us out. and we will see you next time here on No Sleep. Have a good one.